The controversial businessman Vusimuzi Matlala has finally taken the stand before the Parliament's ad hoc committee, testifying from Kgosi Mampuru Correctional Center, where he is currently incarcerated. Matlala was at the center of a disputed 360 million rand South African Police Service Health Service tender, distanced himself from allegations of wrongdoing, insisting that he cannot be blamed for the SAPS's alleged failure to conduct proper due diligence before awarding the contract to his company in 2024. Evidence leader Advocate Norman Arendse pressed Matlala on details of the lucrative tender, but the businessman refused to answer several questions related to the contract. Committee Chairperson Soviet Lekanyane reiterated that any information Matlala provides before Parliament cannot be used against him in future criminal proceedings. Arendse emphasized that parliamentary privilege does not protect witnesses who provide false information. Arendse also interrogated Matlala about a 2024 lease agreement for a hospital facility at the SAPS College, which he allegedly secured in anticipation of the tender. Matlala denied the claim, insisting he intended to use the premises to treat students injured during police training. Committee members further probed Matlala's ties to the criminal underworld, specifically his relationship with late taxi boss King Mswazi Zanimvula Msibi, who has been linked to the notorious Big Five crime syndicate. Matlala admitted providing protection services to Msibi, but denied having any relationship with another alleged Big Five figure, Katie Molefe. Despite Molefe's appearance at Msibi's funeral, he stressed he had never offered Molefe any form of protection. In a more personal turn, Matlala told members of parliament that he is a father of 9 children with his wife Tsakane and supports them all. He said he grew up in Mamelodi East, raised by a single mother. After completing matric, he ventured into informal trading, buying and selling goods before a conviction for trading in illegal merchandise. He formally entered the security industry in 2017, registering a company that provided protection services to schools, construction sites, and private businesses. This business later positioned him to pursue larger state contracts, including the controversial SAPS Health Services tender, now under parliamentary scrutiny.
Incriminate myself.
But can you confirm that you paid them for your franchise?
Yes, I can confirm that.
And when you
it's in the bank statements as well, which the police have.
So and so when you bid for the Swane 24 contract, the SAPS contract, you did so on your own, through your own company?
Yes, through my own company, Mr. Arendse. But like I said, I do not want to go deep into this Medicaid 24 SAPS contract thing.
But the services that would be rendered, those services would in fact be rendered by Van Wyk and Venter, the holding company, isn't it? The administrative side of it.
Yes, that's correct.
And that would have, was that indicated in the tender bid document?
Is there? Yes.
Or was it left unstated?
No, I've supplied the franchise documents.
So in the bid document, which we'll look at a bit in a bit more detail later, would it have been indicated that some of these services would in fact be rendered also by the holding company?
I would love to help about that, but like I said, I think we're going now into the deep inside the contract of SAPS, which I said earlier that I do not want to speak about that now, as this is an ongoing investigation. So can you please just respect that? I do not want to incriminate myself or compromise the investigation.
Vusimuzi Kat Matlala was pictured wearing a white shirt and beige pants, a noticeable shift from the designer suits and luxury watches that had previously made headlines during his court appearances. However, his shirt appeared to have the trademark Burberry distinctive check pattern on the sleeves. Matlala's previous courtroom fits were the staff of social media legend from Dolce & Gabbana, tuxedos to 2.5 million rand Rolex watches. The cat made every appearance feel less like a bail hearing and more like a VIP event. One memorable look included a crisp tux jacket and pants combo, paired with that iconic Stadex Rolex, a style that had onlookers whispering more about his rest than his legal troubles. Another standout moment saw him in a Dolce & Gabbana maroon suit, polished and precise, proving that even while facing serious charges like attempted murder, conspiracy, and money laundering, Matlala understood the power of optics. Full-price suits of similar caliber and the brand's ready-to-wear range, depending on cut, fabric, and detailing, tend to retail for several thousand US dollars. One listing for a similar suit on the international market had a price tag of roughly about $2,969, that is about 6,000 rand, depending on exchange rate. Meanwhile, the SAP's Chief Financial Officer, Lieutenant General Buleng Dimpane, has described the tender awarded to Vusimuzi Cat Matlala's company, Medicare 24 Tshwane District, as embarrassment. Appearing before Parliament's ad hoc committee on Tuesday, she explained that she did not form part of any structures when the contract was awarded. It was flagged as a possible irregular expenditure in the first week of March 2024 and confirmed as irregular in May. Regarding the contract, 466 million rand was disclosed as irregular expenditure. A few invoices remain in the system to this tender. However, Dimpane has instructed her team to stop the payments. When the Auditor General of South Africa AGSA flagged 650 million rand as irregular within the SAPS for the 2024-2025 financial year, 466 million rand of that amount was from the tender. The remaining amount was from contracts awarded and deemed irregular. Instead, when you look at the bulk of this irregular expenditure that was flagged in 2024-2025, it relates to the bids and tenders which were only awarded at the head office, supply chain management.
May I please take Honorable Sangon?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Apologies, SC. No, I'm being disturbed by Mr. Matlala's response to not wanting to answer questions after he had taken the oath, which was based on you having read to him, Chairperson, the immunities that are there for him in line with the Powers and Privileges Act, specifically 16.2, which says a person who is being examined under oath or affirmation in terms of section 15 may be required to answer any question put to him in connection with the subject of the inquiry, produce any document that he or she is requested to produce under the section, despite the fact that the answer or the document would incriminate him or would tend to expose him or her to criminal and civil proceedings. Now, it was said when we started that we are not in a court of law. We do operate under the legislation, specifically this, the Powers and Privileges Act of Parliament. And I think we're going to have to get resolution on that matter, Chair, because we can't have a witness that appears, has taken an oath and then says, I can't answer because I may incriminate myself. I think we need direction on that matter. Thanks, Chair.
What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.